Hello, everybody. Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, good evening, good midnight. No, I don't think so. I don't think it's midnight anywhere. But good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. It's good to see so many familiar faces and some new ones as well. I'm reading all your chats in the morning. Sometimes I wish I could do just that because it's a lot of fun to chat with you guys in the chat room. And I have shared the notes, the class notes. I'm going to share the class notes one more time. And there they are. There are the class notes. I will be teaching the vocabulary of crime, vocabulary related to crime and punishment, to the justice system, et cetera, things like that. And in the future, of course, we will get back to some of the other types of lessons like reading and speaking and writing. That's my favorite, writing. Oh, I lost a light. Oh, it's back on. All right. A little technical difficulty. Whoa, it's blinking on and off. Let's see if I can. I'm just going to make a quick adjustment. So I'm going to put the class notes up in the background. I'll be right back as I try to fix this light. Okay, I fixed it. The light is fixed. I hope everybody's having a pleasant morning so far, or a pleasant day so far. I know I have, although it is very, 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 very cold. Okay, here we go. At the beginning of each class, I do this. So for those of you who have seen this before, thank you for your patience. For those of you who have not seen this before, I share these links in the class notes. The first one is Zach's email. If you have any questions, and I mean any questions about the Smrt live classes, the classes we do here, you can email Zach at this email address right here. If you want to know more about our subscription classes, which are our pay classes, you can read this information here. You will get access to the entire Smrt curriculum online, and there are a lot of lessons and exercises, and I do mean a lot. You can send your homework to teachers, and we'll mark them up. And I'd like to thank Aaron for sending in his homework. I'll mark that up today and send you a video with some corrections. You'll get quizzes and exams, and you will get an official Smrt English certification when you have completed the requirements for the course. There are 4 classes. There's pre-intermediate with Nicole, there's intermediate with Mark, upper intermediate with me, and English for academic purposes with Josh. If you want to know more about our school, here is our school in lovely downtown Spokane, Washington, up in the northwest corner of the United States of America. So you can check out that link. If you want to join our Facebook group, please do. It's called Learn English on Facebook. If you have not joined yet, please join soon. And you'll see some familiar names there. And finally, because you're on YouTube, you probably know where this is, but in case you don't, we save all of our videos so you can go back and watch all of our videos and see what's coming up in the future. So these are the classes that are coming up. You can watch the old classes, and we have one more teacher. We have Sean, who also teaches these online classes. Okay, so there's all that information, all those resources available to you. My name is Neal Hallgarth. As always, my name has not changed. When you click in, usually you need a computer, a desktop, a laptop. I think it might work on a tablet. A cell phone, usually you cannot open these class notes, this page. You will appear as animals up here, and I think the animal corresponds with the first letter of your name or maybe your Gmail address. So if you see anonymous hyena, that means somewhere in your name that Google identifies you as, there's an H. And then gopher would be, there's a G in your name, bat, and dolphin, and so forth. And I don't know why they do that. It's a strange little categorization system they have there. I kind of like it, though. I like the little animal icons up in the corner. Okay, I'm going back. I missed a lot of your comments. If you have a question, and I don't get to it at first, go ahead and write it again. From time to time, you'll see me look to the side to read those questions. Or maybe someone will answer it for you in the chat room. Okay, we're going to be talking about vocabulary related to crime. I'm going to go to the slideshow. The word we left off on last time, this is the first one. It's a verb, deny. Deny. She denied stealing the candy. So if someone accuses you of a crime, if someone says you're the one who committed the crime, you can always deny it. You can say, I did not do it. So if somebody accuses you of a crime, maybe you should deny it. Say, you did not do the crime. Okay, let's go to the next one. Deputy as a noun. Deputy. The sheriff has 3 deputies that work for him. So the sheriff is like the boss of the police. He's the police boss. And he has his own car and he drives around. The people directly under him, his sub-managers, are the deputies. So at the top, the sheriff, and then below the sheriff, deputy. The sheriff has 3 deputies that work for him. Like that song, I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot no deputy. Yeah, for deny, you guys are always good at synonyms. Milena, that's right. For deny, you can say refuse. Refuse the accusation of the crime. It's when you swear you didn't do something. That's good, Rosa. They're not waiters. They don't wait on the sheriff. They're like his. Well, what would you say? I would say like his managers. His department managers, kind of. Next one, ensure is a verb. Please ensure that you lock the door when leaving. Ensure means make sure. Instead of writing out make sure, you can just use this one verb, ensure. Ensure. Is to make sure. And that's all it is. That one's easy. Next one, envy, noun. It isn't good to be full of envy of someone. Envy. Envy is when you want something that somebody else has. You want something that somebody else has. So this picture, for example, if you see a couple like this who are obviously in love and you want the same thing, we would say you are full of envy. You are envious of them. You are jealous. That's right. You are jealous. Next one, eyewitness as a noun. Eyewitness as a noun. There were plenty of eyewitnesses for the police to talk to. And we've talked about this word before. Eyewitness, you see with your eyes. You see with your eyes. You saw the crime or you saw somebody do something. You are an eyewitness. You can just say witness, but eyewitness means specifically that they saw something. Are you? Yeah. If you don't have coffee, that's good, Aaron. If you don't have coffee, you are envious of my coffee. You envy my coffee, or you envy that I have coffee. Good use, Vivek. Good use of ensure. Vivek asked Diari to please ensure that his sentence is correct or incorrect. So good use here. Yeah, some of you might be envious. The adjective form, let me go back up. The adjective form of envy is envious. E-N-V-I-O-U-S. I'll write that in. Envious. So you can say, I am envious of. I am envious of. I have envy. Or I am full of envy. I am envious. So does that make sense? Envy and envious. Oh, you like my thermos? Thank you. Thank you. Some of you like it. Some of you don't like it. Some of you don't like coffee. I stickered it up. Anytime I have something made out of metal, I always put stickers on it. So I've put a ton of stickers on it. Eyewitness is like, yeah, you just see something. Like this person is looking out their window and they're watching somebody do something. If the police ask this person questions, they are an eyewitness. They might be asked to go to court to say what they saw. Next one, federal as an adjective. This tax is a federal tax. Federal means related to the whole country, something from the country, from the capital. So the federal government of the United States is in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your compliments. For most of your compliments, I should say. The federal government's federal tax. What else? Federal court. Federal is related to the capital, related to the whole country. Somebody's asking the difference between envious and jealous, I would say they are very much alike. I think I would use I am jealous of something and I am envious of something in the same way. I would use those as synonyms, jealous and envious. Let's look at we looked at that one. Here's the next one, fingerprint as a noun. We found many fingerprints on the television. And I think this one is self-explanatory. It explains itself. Fingerprints. So if you look at your own fingers right now, at the end, your fingertips, you should see a lot of spirals. If you look close, you'll see a lot of circles in a kind of a spiral pattern here, like you can see up there as well on this fingerprint. Sometimes that's what detectives use to identify someone who committed a crime. It is very unlikely that your fingerprints are the same as anyone else's fingerprints. Going back to federal, there's a good question. How to pronounce it? Yeah, this D gets the J sound. J. Federal. It's kind of like putting a D and a G together, or a D and a J together. Federal. So there'll be a kind of a J sound in there. Federal. Yeah, that's a good sentence, Leo. The police found lots of fingerprints on the door. The police found fingerprints at the scene of the crime. You know, I've actually heard that there are some people who have near identical fingerprints. It's very, very rare, very unlikely, but I heard that it can happen that your fingerprints are almost an exact match as someone else's fingerprints, although the chances of that happening are very, very rare. And the chance that both those people with identical fingerprints would both be criminals, I think, is even more rare. Have you ever had to give your fingerprint for any reason? Have you ever had to put your fingerprint on anything? No, there's only one meaning of fingerprint. That's it. That's the only one. I just like talking about fingerprints. Next one, I believe. Oh, what's going on with this? Flee. Yeah, flee. F-L-E-E. Flee as a verb. The criminal has fled the country, and this is verb 3, past participle. The criminal has fled the country. And the infinitive verb, the unchanged verb, is flee. Not to be confused with the little insects, the little bugs you find on a dog. This is F-L-E-E. The bug is spelled F-L-E-A, but they're pronounced the same. Flee. We have, flee, run away very fast. You see this guy? He's fleeing. Run away usually from somebody. Run away from the scene of the crime. Run away from the police. Flee. Flee the police. Flee the FBI. Flee from the burning house. Yeah, the reason I asked about fingerprints, and you do pronounce both R's, fingerprints. Some of you have done it for your passport. If you ever get arrested by the police, they will take your fingerprints. I believe they take all of your fingerprints. Next one, fugitive. Fugitive. So kind of that DG sound again. Fugitive, noun. The man has escaped from jail. Police are looking everywhere for the fugitive. So if you flee jail, you become a fugitive from the law. Steve, you said you had to leave fingerprints at customs. Yeah, I think that's a little unusual. Maybe that's normal. So maybe at customs sometimes, maybe at an embassy, you might have to give fingerprints. And there is a movie, some of you may have heard of the movie, The Fugitive. The Fugitive. Man who runs away from law, although he was wrongly accused. Sometimes I need to flee my professor. Run away from the professor. Run away from class. Be a fugitive from the classroom. Nora mentions there is eye scanning now. Sometimes I'll take a scan of your eye instead of your fingerprint. So there is newer technology that's changing things. Fugitives are always on the run. On the run. That's a good phrase. On the run. Good phrase, Diari. Rashida, it's okay. We haven't done many words. We're up to G. We're on our first G word, genetic. It's an adjective. Genetically modified apples are bigger, sweeter, and more delicious than natural apples. And then in the background, I don't think those are apples. Those look like tomatoes to me. Somebody is genetically modifying the tomatoes in that picture. Genetically modifying something means obviously you change the genes in something. You change the genes in an apple or a tomato, and it's a way to make more food or different food or bigger food. Genetically modified. So genetic has to do with your genes, your DNA, the stuff that makes you. Yeah, good, Leo. Genetic is when we talk about DNA. Yes, this is, oh yeah, for those of you just joining, I had a beard for a while, so I look a little different this morning. Yeah, yes, Trump. Yeah, Trump. Flee means escape. If you are a fugitive, you have escaped. So flee and fugitive are escape words. Thank you for joining class, Mr. President-elect. Yes, in the show Prison Break, if you ever saw the show Prison Break, they are fugitives in Prison Break. With, yeah, genetic, you play with its genes, genetically modify something. Boba, you mentioned your sister studies this. She's studying genetics. That is a field of study, a scientific field of study, genetics. It is not natural. Many people have problems with genetic alteration or genetically modifying something because it's not natural. And then some companies who genetically modify food will say that that food is theirs, that that food belongs to them. They own the copyright or the patent for that food, the right to grow that food and distribute that food. So some people also have a problem with that, because if you create food and it gets out into the world, couldn't that be anybody's then? Anybody can study genetics. If that's something you're interested in, you can go to school for that. You can become a geneticist. Let's look at the next one. Next one. And that's right, going back to genetic one more time, sometimes the stuff that is made when you genetically modify it is less healthy. Sometimes it's bad for you, actually. Okay, let's look at the next one. Greed as a noun. Greed caused the man to steal the food. He was greedy. Greed means, in this sentence, he didn't need to steal the food. He wanted to steal the food. He had enough food and he wanted more. Greed is when you have enough, but you want more, even though you have enough to satisfy yourself. Vivek, if you say, I am genetically handsome, can you say that? Sure, you can say that. That's a compliment to your mom and dad. If you are handsome, it means you have good genes. So you should thank your parents. Vivek, you are greedy of love, or maybe I would say you are greedy in love. You are greedy about love. That would mean you already have love and you want more. You want more. Yes, Leo, if you like money, if you have the love of money, then you have greed. If you have enough money to live and be comfortable, and yet you want more money, that is called greed. Yes, even when you don't need it, but you want more. You want a lot. You want too much. Vivek, your sentence, my heart and eyes are too greedy to see her. Yeah, maybe. Sometimes you can be greedy about a person. And yes, Rosa, it can be a psychological disorder. Is it pejorative? Greedy? Greedy. Boba, I guess you would say Hitler was greedy. I believe he's passed away now. So Hitler was greedy. And we have a question concerning a term, miscarriage of justice. Miscarriage of justice means something was wrong in the court system. Something was wrong in the police and court system. Something went wrong. Greedy, you want more. It's a big problem. I think it's a big problem with a lot of people. Greed. When the want exceeds need, then you have greed. Next one, injustice. So when we talk about the miscarriage of justice, we can talk about injustice, which is a noun. It is such an injustice that rich people can do whatever they want in society. In most human societies, we have the concept, the idea of justice, that there is a certain amount of things that are fair for all people, that there is fairness for many people, or that people have the right to be treated equally or fairly. In this picture, you see the homeless man here at the bottom, right there, and the businessman is just stepping over him. He's ignoring him. We would say this society has injustice when one man obviously has enough for a nice suit and a briefcase and nice shoes, and another man has nothing. He has a sleeping bag, and that's it. Injustice. Injustice is not really illegal. It's not breaking a law. It's just in society when there is inequality, when there is unfairness, when things are not equal for all people. We would call that injustice. Injustice. Yeah, miscarriage of justice is that would be a phrase, a noun of noun phrase. It means justice was not done. And we usually use miscarriage of justice when there is injustice in the justice system. When something went wrong with the police or the lawyers or the judge, we would say injustice. Yeah, maybe people are uninterested in the poor. They don't notice the poor. They don't want to help them. But of course, that is injustice in society. And in America, we have a lot of homeless people. We are a very wealthy nation. We produce a lot of wealth and a lot of successful people and companies. And yet we have a high homeless population. We would say our society, American society, is unjust. It has injustice. So adjective is a little different. Adjective is unjust. So we wouldn't say unjust, we would say unjust. Unjust. It's a good expression, Rashida. The wheels of justice turn slowly. Yeah, it takes a while for a criminal to be convicted, to go to court, to be shown guilty or innocent. It takes a long time. Next word is investigation. It's a noun. Police have started an investigation to find out what happened last night. And here you see the detective, or with this maybe ultraviolet light, we would say this is a forensic scientist. A forensic scientist is an expert on finding evidence and examining evidence from the scene of a crime, like fingerprints, or even to examine a dead body. Investigation, noun. Investigation. Are you asking me? Is that a question for me? I am from the USA. I don't know if anybody else in the chat room is. I am from the USA, and I know about the injustice in my own country. I see this all the time. I see homeless people every day. It's unjust. Yeah, good. Investigation, inquiry, looking deeper into something that has happened. Look for evidence. Some of you may have seen the show CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. They carry on investigations to figure out crimes. Investigation. Yeah, research into a crime. Investigation. Going back to this one more time, we do have a high amount of homeless people. We have a large homeless population in America, especially in cities. If you go to a city, you will see homeless people. Not so much in the country, but in the city, yes. Leo, you're asking, is there a rule when to write the prefix in or when to write the prefix un, meaning negative or no? I'm sure there are some rules applied. I don't know. I think I just learn it one word at a time. Sometimes with prefixes and suffixes, it's better just to know the words than when to apply those prefixes or suffixes. It can get very complicated. Next word, okay, here's a fun word to say. Juror. Juror. This first J will kind of get that DG sound or that DJ sound. Juror. And this will get the ER sound and the ER sound. And Juror. Noun. All of the jurors were white in the man's trial. All of the jurors were white in the man's trial. And here we see a jury of white men. Juror. Juror. So you guys are still talking about investigation and injustice. Yeah, maybe there needs to be an investigation into the injustice in modern societies. That's a good sentence, Leo. The jurors judge the burglar. So the jurors, the 12 people, will decide whether the person who has been accused is guilty or innocent. And then the judge will give a sentence. The judge will say how long that person has to be in jail if they are found guilty. It is up to the jurors to decide guilt or innocence. Guilt or innocence. It is a difficult word to say. Yes, member of the jury. Good. Good, Boba. The jurors are members of the jury. A trial is the name of one court case or one event in court. We call it a trial. A trial. We have a question, right? What is the difference? Scrutiny, inquiry, and investigation. I would say inquiry is very formal and it can be made of anybody. An investigation is to find evidence or clues or try to find a solution. An inquiry is just asking questions. And then scrutiny is to look at something very closely. Sometimes, yes, sometimes these words will be pronounced differently between American English and British English. In America, we say this word juror, juror. The jury decided to put the people behind bars. Good. Good sentence, Aaron. The jury sent me, and we would say, to life imprisonment. Imprisonment. Yeah. Good, Vivek. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Let's see if imprisonment. Life in prison. So you guys are still talking about injustice since we started discussing this. Why are there homeless people in the USA, or for any modern society? Why are there homeless people in many modern societies? Well, people run out of money. Like somebody mentioned, student loans, yes, can make somebody run out of money. Sometimes a lot of soldiers come back from war, and their head works differently now. Their mind has changed because of war, and they don't fit into society. They have a problem fitting into society, so they become homeless. Some people have a mental disorder. They were born with a mental disorder, and they don't get the medication they need, so they become homeless. And then finally, some people actually prefer living homeless. They don't want a lot of things. They don't want a home. They want to live their life on the move. It is a strange kind of freedom, I guess you could say. So you have a mix of all kinds of different people who live the homeless lifestyle. Most of the time, though, a lot of the times, it's people who need medication who are not getting that medication, and they have nowhere else to go, and they don't know how to live, really. So it's kind of sad. Okay, next one, jury. So we talked about this since we talked about jurors. We also talked about jury as a noun. The jury found the criminal innocent of all charges. So jury is the name for all of the jurors together. If you take them all together, that is the jury. So the jurors make up the jury. Oh, how to pronounce guilty? Just like that, just like I said it. Guilty. Guilty. Ricardo, guilty. Next one, kidnap as a verb. Kidnap as a verb. In many countries, kidnapping is a very common way for criminals to make easy money. In many countries, kidnapping is a very common way for criminals to make easy money. Kidnap is when you steal someone, not just a kid, not just a child, but when you steal a person. It's the theft, the burglary of another human being. Kidnap. That's kidnapping someone. Trump, I'm not sure about your question. Rashida, your question, I love listening to the British accent. I love the way British people speak English. I like the way British people pronounce the English language. I wish I could do it like they do. I can't because I'm American. I think British people sound smart because of the way they speak, because of their accent. Yeah, good, Rashida. When you kidnap somebody, you put up something called a ransom. A ransom. A ransom is when you demand money. You kidnap somebody and you demand money. Lie detector test. Noun, lie detector test. He has failed the lie detector test. In the background, in the picture, you can see a lie detector test where they put a lot of straps and wires and diodes and they hook it up to somebody and then they see if they're lying or not. Okay, moving on. I'm going to start, since we're running out of time and there's so many words left, I'm going to go a little bit faster. So, ask questions if I'm going too fast. Here we go. Lust as a noun. Some people have such a strong lust for money. Lust is, like we talked about greed earlier, kind of the same thing. Lust is maybe too strong a love for something. When you have a love that is too strong. Lust. Some people have such a strong lust for money. It would be the love of money, the love for money. Oh, there's a lie detector again. Why is it going backwards? There we go. Manipulate. Verb. Manipulate. Verb. He searches for victims that he can easily manipulate. Manipulate means, and it might be hard to tell from this picture, doesn't mean to make somebody quiet or to stop them from speaking. Manipulate means you control somebody. You control their mind. You make them do things. Yeah, good, Rashida. Lust is desire. Lust is desire. If you have a lust for money, you have a desire for money, a desire for a lot of money. So manipulate is control. Manipulate is you control somebody. You make them do things they may not want to do. Manipulate. Manipulate. People are asking about lust. Lust is a love that is too strong. When you can't control love, it becomes lust. It's too strong. Yeah, some people have a lust for pizza. If you can't stop eating pizza when you have it, you have a lust for pizza. Yeah, Boba, good. Manipulate is kind of force. Force or, right? Good. Mislead. Force or mislead. It's really control. Control. Comes from the Spanish word for hand is manos. So manipulate, it means you can control somebody. You can use words. Usually you use words, not just your hands, but it comes from that manos. Manos. Manipulate. Offense, noun. He committed 3 offenses and is now in jail. Offense, sorry, I said that wrong. Not offense, offense, noun. He committed 3 offenses and is now in jail. Yes, Vivek, sometimes your examples manipulate me. Your examples make me read them, and sometimes not. I can't read all the examples. There's a lot. Sometimes in the chat room, these things fly by. Good, Aaron. A good word for manipulate is brainwash. Offense. So offense in this one, offense is something you do against the law. Something you do against the law. An offense. When you break the law, breaking the law. Yeah, it's like an insult. An insult to the law. An insult to the law. Outcome, noun. What was the outcome of the discussion? What was the outcome of the discussion? What was the result? What was the end? What was the end result? Outcome. What did you decide? What was the outcome of the decision? Yeah, offense is just something wrong you did. Outcome is result. Pistol, noun. Most police officers carry a pistol in this country. So in America, I think not most police officers, I think all police officers carry a pistol. They are armed with a pistol, with a handgun. Pistol. Point of view, noun. She has a very interesting point of view. You should talk to her. Point of view is the way you see something, your opinion. Sometimes we shorten it to the letters POV, point of view, your opinion, how you see something, how you perceive something. Everybody has a slightly different point of view. Different people have different points of views. POV, point of view. Polygraph test, noun. He has failed the polygraph test. So before we had lie detector test, the fancy word for it, the real name of it, is the polygraph test. Here we have the polygraph test. Many graphs together, reading pulse and heartbeat and all of these things at the same time. Polygraph test. Rashida, you're asking if they put a strap near the belt, what would you call that? The waist. The waist. The place where you put your belt or you wear the belt is the waist. Oh, I think also talking about pistol. If you put your pistol on your belt, you need to put it in a holster. Holster your pistol. Please put it in a holster around your waist. Oh, Trump, you're taking notes? I shared some class notes with you. Let me get to the class notes real quick. So on these class notes are all the words. So hopefully you don't have to take so many notes. I'll share them with you again. So those class notes, with those class notes, hopefully, and you can make a copy of those notes and write in the class notes, so you don't have to write everything down unless you want to practice writing, which is good. So we have pistol, point of view, polygraph test, pride, noun. He will not admit to the crime because of his pride. Pride is when you are proud of yourself. You have pride. Sometimes you can be too proud, like I guess this man is. He will feel embarrassed. He will feel like it will hurt his pride. It's kind of your ego, your personality, your pride. You want to consider yourself a good person, and you want other people to consider you a good person. You have too much pride. Too much pride. The adjective is proud. So you wouldn't say, I am proud of myself. You'd say, I am proud of myself. Pride and proud. Pride and proud. And the name for where you put a gun or pistol is a holster. A holster, going back to pistol. So pistol, point of view, polygraph test, pride, and then property, noun, property as a noun. Please treat my property like you would treat your own. Property is what you own, and I guess this lion in this picture owns this tree. I would not fight the lion for that tree. That lion can have the tree. If that lion wants the tree, then it's her. It's her property. That's a female lion. It has no mane, has no hair. You guys, yeah, Ricardo, you're mentioning the Sex Pistols, an old punk band, one of the first punk bands, the Sex Pistols. And yes, that's a coincidence, Rashida. That a group of lions is called a pride of lions. A pride of lions. Good. Sudeep, a good word for property is belongings, the things we own, the things that are ours. Vivek, you're always writing about love. Everything is about love. Next word, prosecute, verb. The government is going to have a difficult time prosecuting the man for the crime because there's not a lot of evidence. Prosecute. Prosecute is when you can prove that somebody did a crime. We call the lawyers on the side of the victim or on the side of the state or country. We call that the prosecution. So here's a prosecutor. He is on the victim's side, or he would be on the side of the state or the side of the country. He is the prosecutor. He's trying to prove that somebody is guilty. He is prosecuting them. He is prosecuting them. So that's one side of a lawyer team. So we can say prosecution, and then the other side is defense. Prosecution and defense, the two lawyer sides in a court, in a trial. prosecution, and defense. Yeah, another good word for property. That's right, Melena. Possession is another good word for property. Property, prosecute. The prosecute prosecutes the fugitive who stole a rifle. That's a good one. The prosecutor prosecutes. Oh, Trump, you're asking, what is my personal property? Well, you see it all the time. This coffee carafe, or this coffee tumbler, this coffee thermos. This is my personal property. This is really all I have. This is all I have. I don't have a lot. This is one of my most prized possessions in my property. It's about all I have. And this jacket. This tumbler and this jacket. You're looking at most of my property right now. I do not have a lot. Publicity, noun. Publicity, noun. Putting the photo of the criminal in the newspaper has created a lot of publicity about the crime. Publicity is when you make information public. You publicize it. You publicize it as a verb. Publicize. And now it is publicity. Publicity. It becomes public information, public knowledge. Publicity. And sometimes when a crime is big enough, or when a criminal becomes famous enough, they receive a lot of publicity. We have President-elect Trump in the chat room. Trump received a lot of publicity as he was campaigning for president. The newspapers and the news didn't really want to report on anybody else, on any of the other candidates. They acquired a lust for publicizing information about Trump. It's like advertising, yes, much like advertising. So I guess I am saying I feel that Trump received too much publicity and it gave him a lot of advertising. It was like free advertising. And Rashida, no, this is not beer, although I wish it were. It is coffee. I need coffee in the morning. I have a lot of beer stickers on here, though. I don't think I could drink beer this early. Too early. 7:30 in the morning? No, thank you. Pull over, phrasal verb, pull over. The police pulled me over for speeding. Pull over is when the police obviously make you stop. They pull you over to the side of the road. Sometimes in movies, you'll see a police car and they'll drive up next to a car that's moving and the policeman will shout, "Pull over! Pull over!" That doesn't happen in real life. They just turn on their lights and their siren and they make another car pull over. Pull over. Yes, that's right. Coca-Cola has a lot of publicity. Oh, more questions about this? Is it Irish coffee? Is there a little bit of whiskey in there? No, the answer is no. No scotch, no whiskey. Just good old coffee. No, not even milk, not even sugar. Just straight up coffee. Next word, and I think this is going to have to be the last word for this lesson. Even though we spent 2 days on this vocabulary, we still not get through it all, but I'm glad we got through a lot of it. Study the other words on your own, of course. Last word now is racism as a noun. There is so much racism in the world. Racism is, and of course these two boys have no racism. They like each other. Racism is when you don't like another race, when you don't like another kind of people. And it's terrible. It's terrible in the world. There is a lot of it, and it is, in my opinion, in my point of view, it's a terrible thing. So please, no more racism. There, I said it. I said it in front of a camera on a YouTube channel. Please, no more racism. Stop the racism in the world. It needs to end now and end today. But what will never end are these lessons. I will be back on Monday. How about that for a transition? I'll be back on Monday to teach you more. Maybe we'll get back to writing. That sounds good to me, since I always enjoy writing. We'll do some writing on Monday, and I will see you then. Have an excellent rest of your week. Have an excellent weekend. I look forward to talking and writing with you soon. Okay. With that, I will say bye-bye, everybody. Goodbye. Use those class notes. Study those words. If, and these are for my students, if you have not completed the 2 exercises, please finish them. If you did 1, please now do 3. If you haven't done either of them, please do both. So same assignment, exercise 1 and exercise 3 on the vocabulary. All right, I'm going to have to say bye-bye to you all. Bye-bye. There's a request for grammar. Okay, how about next week we do writing and grammar? That sounds good to me. Writing and grammar next week. Next class will, well, you can look at somebody else's class. And I've brought up on our YouTube page, what is the next class? Next class, what says Wednesday, 9 a.m. So soon. Mark will start soon. So stick around, watch Mark, stick around later today, 2:30 p.m., watch Josh, and then come back tomorrow morning and watch Nicole, and stick around for Sean, and keep sticking around for Josh again. So today and tomorrow, lots of lessons coming up. Remember, use this YouTube page. This is our home page. This is our channel, Smrt Live Class. Look for that Smrt Live Class on YouTube. Look for the Smrt English class on YouTube. Watch all the videos, learn lots of English, get excellent, get better. Okay, I gotta go now. Bye-bye, everybody, bye-bye. I will see you soon. Yes, and you can stick around soon. Mark will begin very, very soon, in like a half hour. So take a short nap, get something to drink, get something to eat, go to the bathroom, and then come back in a half hour to see Mark. Okay? All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye for real this time. Gotta go.